Okay, in this video, let's take a look at how we can use Scalekit's official Claude Code plugin so that you can add single sign-on to your application very quickly using Claude Code. To demonstrate that, I am starting with a very simple Next.js app, and it's a starter app. What you'll see is if I even run something like npm dev, you'll find a very basic starter template, which any Next.js app would provide with as soon as you install the Next.js framework. Now, with this, we are going to look at two objectives. One, we would like to add single sign-on to this application so that any user can use their enterprise email address to log in to this app, right? Secondly, what we are also going to look at is if can we provide a dashboard or a way so that your customers or our customers can set up their configuration with identity providers. For example, if my organization is using Microsoft Entra ID, I should be able to configure that connection with Entra ID so that things works seamlessly. Okay, let's get started on how that would work on the terminal, where my example app is here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to invoke Claude Code very quickly. Now, in this case, when I'm invoking Claude Code, what I'll also do is that I'll go ahead and start adding a plugin to install Scalekit skills and everything all together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this command, and it will show you that it's automatically installed. The way you can verify is you can go to plugins, you can go to marketplaces. You'll see there are plugins that are already installed. In this case, because we are working with modular SSO, that is the one that I have already installed. Now going back, I'm going to give Claude Code the exact same objective. My goal is to add SSO to my application and also let my customers configure SSO connection with their IDP using the admin portal. Right? I'm just going to add that. So Claude Code automatically identifies, hey, there's a skill on how to add single sign-on, and it has loaded the skill automatically. So it's starting to analyze your current repository. It's starting to read the code that you already have, the Next.js files and patterns and everything all together. So it sort of begins by understanding your current application structure, whether it's Node, whether it's Java, Python, Go, whatever. It gets that context first. One interesting thing that you'll observe here is it is starting to read the documentation as well to get the information. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let it invoke the MCP server, and it's starting to see what are the environments that I have and everything. So I'm going to simply allow. I'll allow it to add a redirect URI. Redirect URI is the place where Scalekit remembers that this is the endpoint of your app, and then it sends the user information once the user actually logins to the app. So if you see it here, Scalekit has automatically, or this plugin has automatically picked up your environment and then the client ID in that one. And client secret is something that will not be fetched, so you will have to give it separately. So if you look at the app, you can see that all of these files are generated as well. And you can see that the client ID and environment URL are already present. What we'll do is scalekit.com. So just to cross verify and show it to you if it's the same one, you'll find that the same environment that your URL that this picks up. And I'm going to create a temporary client secret, and I'm going to give it to my application here. So you can verify that client ID is also the right client ID that it has picked up. Let's say we'll simply go ahead and run. Let's see if it works out of the box, or I'm expecting there will be some issues that may come across. Cool. I think it very quickly redirected me to a login page. What I'll do is I'll use something called an example.com domain. What this means is if you go to the organizations and assume all of these are your customers, Microsoft might have Ping Identity as their identity provider, and you can have like a bunch of other organizations having their own identity providers. But for the ease of development, Scalekit provides you with something called test organization that has an mock IDP, which we call it IDP simulator, and this has some organization domains those are picked up. So what this means is when user actually enters an example.com, and in real world Microsoft.com or Microsoft.com or whatever organization email address they might be using, and that will redirect them to their identity provider, create an incognito window so that we can see the entire workflow ourselves, right? And let's say 123 at the rate of continue. Let's see how this works. You can see this is an equivalent of seeing an Okta's login page or Microsoft Entra's login page or Google's Google Workspace login page. I'm going to give my name, and then I'm going to click simulate login. What you'll see is you'll see those details being logged in. So it also had SSO settings page. Let's try to see if I can open it. Yes. And once I open it, you can see that there is the identity provider and the status of them is enabled. Similarly, that would work similarly for SSO as well. So you will just sort of find all the identity providers that they can select. And in this case, when we have logged in, since we have used the test organization, we are seeing IDP simulator as our example here. So that's all it is, right? I just started with simple Next.js app, and towards the end with a couple of prompts, I'm able to build a login flow, a single sign-on flow that has really happened, and I also have an portal so that I can make my customer onboarding self-serve if they have to bring their own identity provider to work with.